Hello and welcome everyone to my Let's Play Tomb Raider 3, the Lost Artifact expansion. This is Algedis115 speaking. Finally, it's been almost a year, I believe, since I finished the Tomb Raider 3 Let's Play. Not counting the final statistics video, of course, that took me about 3 months, but I'm super excited to be doing this once again. Now, what I tried to do in the introduction slide was that basically the storytelling done in the Lost Artifact expansion levels, 6 of them there I believe in total, is done via, well, the main menu screen as we see here, the loading screens for each level, and also some information contained in the game manual. So what I'll try to do is kind of try and extract the information from the manual, the little flavor text, and put them at the beginning of each level, just to give you an idea of what is it that's actually going on, because just from the level design and the loading screens that can be pretty tricky to figure out. So, as we see on the main menu here, there's Villet over there. He seemed to have a few moments of being alive after we killed him, finished him off as that giant, disgusting, mutated spider creature, and he was trying to tell Lara about the 5th artifact, but, well, was unable to, considering the amount of rockets and Desert Eagle shots he took into him. So Lara went through his stuff and found a telegram specifying the location of the 5th artifact, which is strange since the meteorite cavern had slots for 4, but okay, let's not, overthink it. There's a 5th artifact, and we see it proudly display right in front of our face, the Hand of Wrathmore. So basically this is what we'll be after in this adventure. Now, there are no real discernible differences between the Lost Artifact and Tomb Raider 3, other than the Lost Artifact was released as a separate release, yeah, and it was sold in stores. It was never released for free, so unfortunately it is also not distributed digitally. You do have to own some physical copy in order to get to play it, unless you can of course find a way to download it yourselves. Now, saying that, just like Tomb Raider 3, we can visit Lara's home, and I have found absolutely no differences between Lara's home in Tomb Raider 3 and here, so it is pretty much the same stuff. The same narration from Lara's side telling you how to control her, the same assault course, and the same quad bike racing course, of course, where you can kind of compete and try and aim for the best possible time. But really, I have covered Lara's home in detail in my Tomb Raider 3 playthrough in my playlist, so if you are interested in that, feel free to check that out. I will of course be focusing only on what's new in the Lost Artifact expansion. Now, saying that, I can just show you the settings over here. This is not my native resolution, but as close as I managed to get. This is a widescreen patched version of the Lost Artifact. Now, you have no idea the amount of technical difficulties I had to go through just to get it working, and still it is not perfect. However, it is running pretty damn well, and I would say it looks even better than Tomb Raider 3. Feel free to do a comparison once we'll be in-game. However, I had to convince Windows 10 that we are indeed running Tomb Raider 3 and not the Lost Artifact. Otherwise, the patch would never work. So there will be a couple of odd... I wouldn't go as far as saying technical issues that we'll be encountering, but I'll point them out as we explore them, but it's really no biggie. I'll be able to find a workaround for each. So yeah, there's that. The volume settings are set to the maximum, and I have a couple of my own keys. I use the dash for sprinting, the Z for crawling, and I use the question mark for flares, and I use the little... well, how would I put it, the decimal dot for quick escape inventory kind of action. So these are the controls I mainly use, and of course the space bar for drawing weapons, control for action, and alt for jumping or swimming. So almost standard stuff, just a couple of tweaks here and there that really suit me and my playstyle the best. And now, without further ado, let me finally jump into the game. Now, as we learned in the telegraph for Villet, the 5th artifact should be waiting for him at his own estate connected to Loch Ness. So let's have an amazing trip to Scotland. So let me welcome you to the Highland Fling, very first level, and of course Union Jack Airways. That's the only way Lara really moves around. This is actually a lovely throwback to Tomb Raider 2 and the Great Wall of China, kind of the helicopter that dropped her off, no doubt the very same model used in that level, but this is done purely within in-game graphics, which I appreciate even more. So this is the helicopter that dropped us off and will undoubtedly be picking us off once we are down here. Now, the best place to drop off a person is in front of a private property, no trespassing, warning, danger sign, just in case Lara would reconsider and go home, you know. And to make us feel even more welcome, there is of course an iron bar set ahead of us, completely denying us any possible entry. Or is it? Now, if you look at the red wine spreading across this wall, this is actually really good level design in terms of teaching you very easy game mechanic. These red vines are actually climbable. Now, why am I saying this is really good design is because we'll be seeing a lot of these, and since you cannot miss these being climbable, you will know later on in the level that even other red vines are entirely climbable, which will come in incredibly handy. Now, first of all, let me show you the starting inventory. We, of course, have our trusty pistols. Once again, just like in Tomb Raider 3, we have 2 flares instead of a full flares box contents. I really don't know why. And 1 large and 1 small health pack. On top of this, we have our trusty statistics stopwatch. And this shows the level name, the time taken, the secrets found, kills, ammunition used, hits. Therefore, I'll be able to calculate the accuracy, health packs used, and the distance traveled. Already we have traveled 21 meters. Now that's really interesting. I don't see how that makes sense, but maybe as Lara was descending from the helicopter, or I really have no idea. Maybe even climbing vertically counts. Anyway, I mentioned some technical difficulties associated with convincing Windows that we are in fact running Tomb Raider 3 and not the Lost Artifact expansion. If you look at the total secrets count for this level, you will see the number 6. Now this is just plain wrong. In every Lost Artifact expansion level, except for the very final boss fight level, there are 3 secrets to be found in each. However, to the extent of the total secrets count, Windows thinks we are playing the jungle level, so it assumes there are 6 secrets to be found just like in the jungle level, yeah? So this is something of an annoyance, and you will see this going on in the future levels as well. However, there is a little workaround. Just before ending a particular level, I will make a save file. I will switch onto the unpatched version, so you will actually see how it looked like before it was patched, and I'll finish the level accordingly in that version, and you will see that there are only 3 secrets to be found in total. So that should keep our total secrets count for the entire playthrough as accurate as possible. Now, whether this is worth it or not, the annoyance, it's really up to you to judge. I'm really happy with how the game looks, how sleek and slim Lara looks, and everything in the game actually. And I did some side-by-side comparison, and I think the particular settings of this widescreen patch that I have defined make the game look even better than it looked in Tomb Raider 3, but it's really up to you to judge. Here you can get a view of the Union Jack Airways again, patiently waiting for us. To pick us up, you know, and keeping it running in case we'll have to make a very speedy departure. So I guess they expect the Lara will just come into Willard's estate, find the 5th artifact, and, you know, be done on her way home. But what kind of expansion would that be if, you know, it'd be over so soon, yeah? Now, an interesting thing about this is that there is an absolutely pointless movable block over here. You don't need to move it. It helps a little if you want to align yourself to monkey swing across yet another red vine. So once again, good tutorial. Usually if you see boxes with this symbol over there, which I think is supposed to be a symbol of the Hand of Rathmore, they should be investigated. Most of them are movable, I think, and also it shows you that you can not only climb on the red vines, but you can also monkey swing across. So, you know, that's really good. And there's a plague reading Willard's well, and a texture might as well be the well, but I thought the water patch over here is the well itself. I am entirely unclear on that. Anyway, nothing more for us to be found here, so let's drop into the well and see where the current takes us. Oh wow, look at this view, this is amazing. So the strong current is taking us to the moat surrounding the castle, which is also connected to a waterfall leading to Loch Ness itself. Now we'll get a better view of the surroundings, but first things first, what I picked up are a couple of harpoons, once again 3 per pickup, just like in Tomb Raider 3, And trust me, if you're interested in getting all the kills in these levels, you will need all of them you can get. Now, welcome to the wooden pier. We'll be seeing this pier, I think, 3 to 4 times, depending on how many times we'll backtrack. And it really comes down to whether you want to find all the items or just, you know, finish the level as early as possible. The rocket we see over there is one of the reasons we'll be backtracking over to this wooden pier. Now, of course, we once again have the private property, no trespassing, warning, danger signs, because those are totally going to change our mind and make us turn around. And there are actually 3 ways we can continue. We can take a shortcut directly to the bridge, or we can go inside and take either the low path going underground or the high path going here. Now, first, I would prefer to take the high path to minimize any possible damage we will take, and considering we'll be backtracking to the wooden pier, I will show you all the paths possible. So first of all, oh dear, we get a view of one of the guards over here. On the ground here there are shotgun shells. Yep, don't worry, trusty shotgun will be our faithful companion later on. Now let's just walk carefully. These kind of primitive stealth mechanics are still applicable in the Lost Artifact, just like they were in Tomb Raider 3. However, let's not get too close to this guy. If there is less than a square distance between the two of you, he will notice. So, let's have the benefit... Oh my god, he noticed anyway. Son of a... Okay, fine, that's fine. And let's move out of his way, because they do take those death revenge pot shots. And also, not only that, he released a particularly vicious breed of dogs from a kennel. Unfortunately, the way this doggo died is, we can't really inspect its face, but there's something quite interesting and remarkable about it. Now, just like enemies in Tomb Raider 3, sometimes the human enemies over here drop something, in this case a box of flares, and if we get closer into the kennel, we will find a large health pack, and there is a very mysterious trapdoor over here. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what's the point of this entire area? Once we'll be backtracking through the wooden pier, I will show you exactly, but for now I really want to take little to no damage, and I will explain this in detail as well. Yeah, we can see a bit what's up ahead. We can see another guard patrolling the bridge, and actually what I like about this level, except that it's absolutely stunningly gorgeous, is that on many occasions you can see what's up ahead without really going into that particular section of level. It kind of helps you prepare, which I really love. I really would like more levels in Tomb Raider games to do this. Okay, and now let me just try and jump whilst also opening fire as soon as possible. Okay, he's trying to hide behind, oh dear god, the crate each time I encounter the guy. Whoa! Okay, I kind of feel like I failed miserably, but somehow I managed to avoid taking any damage. This is spectacular. Great. Okay, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Now, there is a box of shotgun shells over there, but before I'll pick them up, let's just go a bit further, and you can see a crowd descending from the roof. Oh, flock of bats! Oh my god, there's so much going on in this level. Okay. So, yeah, once again, the guards are pretty much just retextured guards from the London levels. The crows we've once again seen in the London levels, the Thames Wharf, if I'm not mistaken, so nothing new there. Very weak enemies, which is good for the first level. And over here, this is not actually fire, this is just a smoke concealing a box of shells. Now, we'll be able to continue, we'll be able to choose if we want to continue left or right, or do some backtracking for some extra goodies. The backtracking for goodies is exactly what I'm gonna do. But first of all, let me get it over with the very most difficult one. Now, first, let's pick up the box of shotgun shells here, and we get a magnificent view of the bridge. But even more importantly, there is a tower in the distance with a Scottish flag, but if you tilt the camera just the right way, you can see the monster of Loch Ness. There is Nessie just patiently swimming by. This is absolutely spectacular. They thought about everything. They created her just for this little Easter egg, you know? This is absolutely great. And this really reminds me of when I was at the shores of Loch Ness back in 2014, I think it was, and I was actually thinking about this level. The first time I played it was around 2011 or something like that. So yeah, I was exactly thinking about this. It was really amazing. Of course, I didn't catch any glimpse of the monster itself. It's all made up. It's an artificial social construct. That's what it is. Now, one of the scariest parts of this level is the item over there. Yes, you can also see some harpoons over there, but those are very easy to get. It's the Uzis. Yep, I just pulled the surprise. It's Uzis that we can already find in this level. Unfortunately, getting there is a wee bit tricky. Now, there are only two ways of which I'm aware of, but one involves glitching through a strong current and a corner of the ledge, and I have never ever managed to replicate it. Therefore, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the good old-fashioned reliable way, which will include hurting Lara a lot. Now, I'm really hoping I tilted Lara correctly. Okay. And now, okay, I'm not gonna save, I'm totally gonna risk it. What's important is you have near to full health over here. I think you have to have at least like 85% of health, otherwise this jump is going to kill Lara. Or you can fail as spectacularly as I just did. Seems I was tilted a bit too much to the right. Okay guys, I'll see you back at this spot. Okay, let's see what the second attempt is like. I think this should do the trick, potentially. Or kill us, or just embarrass me. Okay, so second attempt, that's really good, all things considering. So, okay, do you see that little piece of flashing health over there? So, less than that is as much damage as you can take if you want to avoid using any kind of health pack to get here. Yes, exactly, but we have them, we have the Uzis, and they come preloaded with one Uzi ammunition pack, which is 40 bullets. Unfortunately, that's it for Uzi ammunition in this level. So, you know, it's actually, if I'm to be really honest with you, it's not at all worth taking this much damage just to get Uzis now, since you are not really even able to use them. But it is my sacred duty to show you how to get every item, and I still would lose sleep over not having them ASAP, and ultimately we are gonna have plus 40 bullets for the rest of the adventure, so there you go. And if you are also doing the no pistols challenge later on, like I will, then of course you'll probably want it, but whew, oh my god. So yeah, it's very tricky. You will either drop into the water or start sliding. You have to drop here exactly, and what really helps is if you hold the control key. Somehow that will get Lara into the right frame of mind to drop here. Anything else, she will either break her neck or end up in the river. It's very annoying. But, yeah, so there is actually this little... There is the attachment to Loch Ness, however, due to the strong current we cannot get to where Nessie was swimming, enjoying herself. Instead, we are stuck in this moat surrounding the castle. So first things first, there is a bundle of harpoons over here, and that's really it for this whole underwater area. So don't worry, you don't have to search far and wide. But if you remember, from the top we noticed a couple of harpoons on the shore over here, and those are exactly the ones I'm about to pick up. There they are on the muddy piece. And then there is yet another bundle, I believe, on the green grassy tile over there. Exactly. So quite easy to, you know, differentiate. Now this is one of the reasons why we'll be backtracking to the wooden pier. So let's do just that. No current really to get in your way over here. So welcome once again back to our favorite place in this whole area. And what I'm going to do, I guess, right now is use a large health pack. There will really be no better situation to use it, because there is some danger ahead. So once again, we can use the shortcut to get directly on the bridge, or if you remember, actually you can take this kind of dark tunnel as well to get there. No idea why, but there you have it. We took the high path before then, so let's take the low path instead. Okay, we'll have to do some crawling, and yeah, you might be a bit worried about using flares deliberately just like that, but there is another box here to make up for that, and we already picked some up from the first dead guard, so it should be fine. Okay, now let's scroll further. It is possible I have to use another one, because there's just no light coming in here, unfortunately. Oh dear god. Well, there is some, but nah, not enough. I want you to see what it is you're actually going through. I don't think there are any items here. No, of course not. Good. I should trust my memory more, and less my tomb raiding instincts. Okay. And we should be able to stand up over here. Okay, so you might be wondering, what's the point of this underground tunnel? Well, it's another way to surprise the guard above, because we are, yep, that's exactly the trapdoor we inspected from above. We are underneath the dock canal. However, with us opening that trapdoor, another dock is released, but thankfully, using our very skilled Tomb Raider maneuvers, we managed to avoid the bastard completely. Now, okay, this is why I was disappointed we couldn't see the face of the previous dock. Just look at its eyes. They're completely red, and they're even casting red rays. Something very weird is going on. It really unnerves me, and I mean, it's a bit odd that the guards look relatively normal, although they still kind of seem to shoot at Lara first, ask questions later. This might be because those are Villet's orders, or because there's something wrong with them as well, and I'm inclined to believe everyone in this place is a bit crazy. Maybe that would explain why the crows are so hungry that they are now attacking humans as well. Something weird is definitely going on, nobody is friendly here, everyone's bloodthirsty, it's even visible in their eyes, so yeah. Make of that what you will. We'll, however, learn the secret behind this, and just look at this, I absolutely love it. So now, as we are approaching Villet's estate, we get the choice between the left path and the right path, or once again, backtrack for more goodies. So guess which option I'm gonna take. Of course the goodies, that's an absolute no-brainer for me. And I do believe that should not be slippery. Let's see. Ah, great, okay. And now just to get here. It's possible, trust me. I know it is. Come on, don't let me down, Lara. This is embarrassing to watch. Okay, maybe it would help to get as right as possible because it's a bit lower, but I'm also worried it's not wide enough for us to get a foothold in. That's my greatest fear. Oh. Ah, almost there. Come on, Lara. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what I did differently from the previous ones, but it somehow worked, so just keep going at it. Feel free to save even, because it's very easy to just slide down into the water yet again, and that would just be plain annoying. Okay, now I'll be actually honest with you, I'm not entirely sure just how to reach... Yep, you probably figured out by now that we are after the rocket, how to reach it entirely safely, but I guess this should... Whoa. Yes! Whew. Okay, do the trick. Whew. This is such a tough beginning when you think about it, but it's really all optional. Actually, there are huge parts of these expansion levels that just make so many things optional, and you can miss so much content unless you are exploring everything. And actually the secrets themselves in these levels are more like whole optional areas instead of just items or pickups. It's really quite fascinating how much you can miss here. Okay, so that's it, and unfortunately we'll have to backtrack just one more time. Please be patient and bear with me, but this time I am gonna take the shortcut I kept talking about several times onto the bridge, so you can just do this, and you can avoid the area with the door canals and the guard entirely if that is what you desire, you know. If you're the sort of person that likes to avoid conflict completely, I'd understand, I wouldn't judge you. Now, once again we see these dog statues everywhere, and the same family Villet crest, and yeah, now we get to choose between left or, well, right or left tower, or, once again, backtrack for more items. I'm so sorry. So, that's exactly what I'm going to do. First of all, let's maybe even get here. Ah, yeah, okay. But not just yet. I'm doing things a bit too early. Anyway, so, you've seen this sort of wooden barrier, this wooden moat, from the other side, you know, when we were thrown by the currents into the lake. Well, what we have here is a small health pack. There is absolutely nothing in the water over there, so you don't have to worry yourself with that, but we get to trigger the appearance of one particularly annoying crow. Yep, you can probably already hear it in the distance, and from here it should just keep coming down. You don't have to trigger it from all the way down here, but since we are here for that small health pack, I find it very helpful. But let's actually have a vantage point at that bloody little bird. Let's see. Ah, whoa! Okay, didn't expect that kind of vantage point, but there we are. Okay, now that's over with. We can get our hands on the final set of goodies in this area, and that would be the harpoons over there. However, because of the dynamic lighting over there, you cannot properly see just how angled certain tiles are, and you can Oh, Christ almighty, you can very easily just start slipping into the water, okay? So what really helps is that if in middle of the jump you start tilting Lara to the right as possible and kind of hug the corner here as you're jumping, and she should get onto, well, this part of the tile, yeah? That's not slippery. So that really helps a lot, and once again more harpoons and a harpoon gun. We will absolutely need this thing and every single harpoon we can get, because, oh yes, there will be the Wreck of Maria Doria scenario in these expansion levels, and actually, you know how much I enjoyed that back in Tomb Raider 2, so I will be kind of in heaven, you know, having fun with a very limited harpoon ammunition. We'll see how that goes. So, that's it for the beginning lake area. I mean, let me just take a look how much time we spent here. Oh dear God, 21 minutes just from the beginning to the adjacent area and picking up goodies all around. I had to repeat one of the jumps, of course, due to my clumsiness, but still, that's whew, yeah. So as I said, purely optional, like well, not majority, but a large part of the content in these levels. It's really up to you. I think these levels must be a real joy to speedrun for all you speedrunners out there. I'm not one myself, but I personally really admire speedrunning in general. And it's something I really enjoy watching, especially with games I have played painfully through myself. Okay, guys, you're gonna hate me for this, because we once again have the choice of going either to the left or right tower, or take a bit of a detour for even more goodies. But I promise this time it's not just goodies, it is actually the very first secret of the level. So you have seen the camera angle from when we were down there. It made a particularly annoying crow spawn. Now, this camera angle is important because it reveals that, whoa, there might be something worth checking out up top, you know, and that's exactly the case. Now, don't go up just too much, or you'll end up breaking Lara's neck if you make a backflip, but this should be just enough. And we are on the roof of the bridge gatehouse. So, why are we on the roof of the bridge gatehouse? Oh, come on, look at this. Isn't it obvious? Look at the view. Oh, I love it so much. Actually, interesting thing about Scotland is that I was used to assume when I saw the Highlands in movies and fiction and like that, there's some additional lighting work done to make it look as amazing it does, but no, there is something unique about the way light reflects in those Scottish Highlands, that it really looks that magical. It's really, it's a great place to check out, Scotland. I absolutely fell in love with it, and it really has this kind of foggy, dark yet oddly autumn colorful feel to it. It's just the flowers and the way light reflects from the surfaces there. It's completely otherworldly. It's so worth going into, and this really manages to capture that feel quite well. And it's really interesting because last time I was playing this was before my trip to Scotland, and now that I'm playing this is after my trip to Scotland, and to kind of do the comparison, it's just great. And I maybe touched on this back in some of my other Let's Plays of Tomb Raider games, but Tomb Raider's really kind of emphasized the desire for me to travel across the globe. It's just one of those things that you carry over from your childhood, you know. Anyway, enough rambling, because we have found the shotgun. So not only we have the harpoon, the Uzis, but also the shotgun, and unlike Uzis, we have actual ammunition to use it. So, you know, feel free to you know, start enjoying it right away. I will wait because of my no pistols challenge. So I will just keep on using the pistols for this level and switch to shotgun later, even though I acknowledge there are few scenarios where I really wish I wouldn't be doing that, and I wish I could just get using the shotgun straight away, but alas, it was not meant to be. And okay, that would be a terrible mistake. I could try and jump on one of these domes, but in case it's the pinnacles on them, then I'm worried we'll just end up oddly glitching out of. I think I'll rather do it the safer way. I'm not sure just how far we have to be to make the jump. Oh, but we don't have to, because it is the right tower that I want to explore first. This is gonna be a faster way of shimmying. No, Lara, climb up, please. Okay, the guard is... okay, he's not being very active. That's good. Good for us, that is. Not for him. Okay, whew. Yeah. Unfortunately, as soon as you start climbing this area, you will alert this guard to your presence, so in that regard, there really is no way of avoiding the damage he'll do to you if he'll decide to shoot at you. On a couple of occasions when I was trial running this level, he did absolutely nothing, so that's really what will come down to. But what this hallway reveals is an area with yet more harpoons. By now you must be really unnerved. What's up ahead if they're giving you this many harpoons, you know? And yeah, I confirm it's all for a very good reason. And you can pick up a crowbar here. It's a purely optional key item. There it is. Now, unlike in the Antarctica, this is not the kind of crowbar we'll have to be re-picking up. It's just a standard key item you'll pick up once and use once, and that's about it. So you don't have to worry about that. And I don't have to worry about that when I'll be making statistics video. Oh, thank goodness, less headache. But what this reveals is a shot of yet another guard in a hallway with a dog statue. Now, this is important because the crowbar relates to one of these hallways. Now, you might have noticed back at the gatehouse that there were two iron bars that kind of were blocking our way forward. Well, one of those iron bars we are going to open. Yoo-hoo! If you angle Lara a bit diagonally, then make a side flip, she will start sliding, which will allow you to get around more quickly here before the grate closes. In the back. Oh my god, I feel so brave. Okay, and this guy over here drops a small health pack. Actually, this is the shot we've seen when we pick up the crowbar, and it was showing that dog statue, yeah? Although from the other side, of course, it was all kind of vertically flipped. Yeah, so the grate closed behind us. Now, it's quite a large area, and oh my god, look at that! I'm not actually sure what these represent. I know they're somehow tied to the British Isles. I'm sorry if I'm gonna misfire here, Anglo-Saxon culture, exactly. I think these are kind of graves or representations of our ancestors. You might be also familiar with this very old chess board set coming from the British Isles that is kind of done in the similar vein. Oh my god, listen to me talking, a complete amateur. But still, if some of you could fill in some historical background to this, I would be very grateful in the comment section. I will also try to look up something in the Archaeology of Tomb Raider website, just in case they touched one of these. But anyway, what I'm trying to say with this rambling is that, oh my god, it's gorgeous. I'll stop right there. And over here are even more boxes with the Hand of Rathmore sign. So all this is somehow tied to some expedition that Willard financed, and well, just by following these boxes, it should lead us to the fifth and final artifact. But now, feel free to save here. I highly encourage you to do that. I will, of course, not being the sadist I am, and be very quick. Okay, maybe not too quick to kill this guy, because in case you are interested in the... Out of the way! Whew! In case you are interested in the second secret of the level, you need to keep him alive long enough to, yep, open this iron grate exactly. Now, don't worry, I believe he dropped absolutely nothing, but where this leads is a small wooden door, which will prompt you with a key item screen. Now, the only key item we have at this point is the crowbar. Hooray! So, if you go here before picking up the crowbar, or if you kill the guard before he opens it, I don't think there is a way to get here. Now, this is a particularly interesting tomb. Finally, we are doing some literal tomb raiding. I mean, it's been quite a while, no? And, oh my god, burying your ancestors with MP5 and MP5 clips, that's truly remarkable. Look at this beauty. MP5, how I have missed you. And we'll be putting you to some really quite good use, because even though there are only 6 levels, the scale at which they'll sort of graduate in difficulty and in the toughness of enemies we'll encounter is almost immediate. So, once again, great secret, this will come in very handy. Now, we can get back via a small crawl space over here. And, okay, yeah, that should be safe. And yeah, there is also a grate which opens only from the inside, not from the outside. So if... I mean, there should be... Now, I'm afraid even if you go for the crowbar later, this grate is closed by then, but this one remains open. So if you come and collect the crowbar later, you should be able to make an angle jump and crawl all the way back. So I think ultimately all that is needed is keeping this guy alive long enough to open it and get inside immediately, yeah. I think so. I think you can get the crowbar and the secret later, but, you know, if you are following this LP just for your own ease of mind, I highly suggest you get the crowbar now rather than later. Okay, I'm a bit nervous about this, but... let's just enjoy the environment. And, okay, as you can see, there is... Please, I was trying to pay my respects. Okay, cool, great. Yeah, he actually dropped a box of shotgun shells, so even more of those, I'm always happy to see. But what we see here are a couple of tombstones with Billard inscribed on them. And even older ones, you know, back when the Latin letters were not used. Once again, I'm not sure exactly how you would call these native runes, I guess would be the correct inscription. But there they are. So you have several generations of Willard's ancestors here. Kind of makes me wonder if he has some cousins, brothers, sisters, maybe even children. It's really difficult to say, but some of them even say Willard, so, you know, that's good. So he doesn't forget his own name, but watch out! Oh my god, without warning, another one of these guards comes. Oh my god, we lost a lot of health. That's not good. Serves me right for just using the pistols. Anyway, so this is quite a large area, and you can be a bit confused as to where to actually go. Now, first of all, let's pick up the shotgun shells here. This will give us a view of more red vines on the ceiling, and I believe even those on the wall there are climbable. But I really don't see the point of climbing it right now. Let me just take a look. Yeah, okay, it could be possible to climb it and go there, and there is a little chute, a little slide down which leads back to the entrance with the bridge. However, where we really want to go is the opposite corner, over there. You see the smoke rising from the corner? That's where one of the key items to finish the levels needed is located. So that's where we want to go. Unfortunately, due to all the quicksand, it's not going to be easy, and I don't think it's really possible to really climb out of it, other than going all the way back. So let's just leave this area alone. We'll reach it from a completely different angle. Oh my god, this place is gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, now these are definitely what I would call runes, okay? These are runes in their true runish substance, but the ones inscribed on the older tombstones, those I'm not sure about. That's a completely different kind of lettering. Maybe it's even custom made up. I truly do not know. Now, but which is older? That's what I wonder right now. Okay, now, there are actually two ways you can continue through here. Now, you can either take the low path, a very slow, muddy, annoying path, or you can take scenic, faster, and more enjoyable high path. So, guess which one I'm gonna go for. Okay, and throw those pistols immediately and shoot this little guy over here. Oh, thank goodness, because once that crow gets up, it just... Oh, no matter what I did, I let it up intentionally to see if I could just kill it off with enough time. Each time it just made me drop and slide into the mud, and the mud is not a good place to be because it is quite deep, and there is the only place where you can climb out of it, and up until then it is very likely that you will drown. So let's avoid the mud completely and instead use all these options at our disposal to get around. And while this might not really look possible, and I don't think it's really necessary, I think you can just drop into the mud and go into the small opening over there straight away, but I don't know, I just like to do it. Make sure you do a running jump, not a grabbing one, to reach the corner of this ledge over here. You can also go there, climb up, and do it from there, I guess, by grabbing and climbing on top of it, but really there's no point there, no pickups, nothing of that sort. Okay, let's see if we can maybe... Oops, no, Lara, don't glitch out on me, please. Thank you. Okay, just use the walking here just to be absolutely safe. And yeah, there is a very small opening. You know what, let me light up a fly for that. Underneath the Willard family crest. Okay, great. And it's just not deep enough to start losing our oxygen levels, which is great. So Lara, you are perfectly safe to enjoy whatever's up ahead. Now this is really interesting. We can either continue crawling around the corner to the right, or we can go straight to the left. The left is where I'll go because it's purely an optional area, which looks so majestic and important, it fooled me into thinking this is where you are supposed to continue. Okay, I was like, oh, why would they make it in case you could just easily miss it? And over here we see some of the dynamic lighting reflected from the watery, muddy surface on the solid tiles over here, which is really interesting. But I'm worried I'll glitch into something if I'll keep there, so I better not. So here we have some more ruins, and this is a very interesting part of the castle because we'll be here again in, I believe, the second level of this game, yeah? However, the environment will have changed a bit by that point. Now, we see some more graves. Actually, these might not even be graves, but some menhirs is the expression, I think. Menhir, yeah, exactly. Just commemorating something. And oh, look, on the floor here we have some more of those, well, those other kinds of ruins, yeah? Okay, so the reason I want to go here is the couple of goodies. We have shotgun shells, MP5 clips, I believe a box of flares as well, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, I intentionally skipped the large health pack over there. And more of those dog statues. And the way they are watching the pickups really unnerves me. And that is for a very simple reason, because once you pick up the large health pack over here, it seems to be the only object they really care about for some reason. They'll come alive! Okay, just jump back and you should be fine. Never mind. Just jump, okay? Whew. Okay, nicely done, Lara. Let me just inspect their faces again. So yeah, these are the same kind of bloodthirsty dog. Oh, I can see just one little evil eye. This is so scary. Look at that. So, not only are they bloodthirsty things, but somehow they are now mythological. The question is, were they ordinary dogs that temporarily turned into statues? Or did the presence of the artifact actually reanimate the statues? Because, you know, at the beginning I was thinking these are just the guard dogs that the guards have brought with them, you know? But now I'm thinking, what if these were statues all along, you know? The family statues of the villagers, and some of them just came alive, and the guards in their own madness just didn't really care because they're crazy themselves. Really raises a couple of interesting questions, and the kind of red eye motif, that's what's gonna be important in later levels on as well. Now, first of all, this might not be recognizable yet, but now it should be. This is exactly the corridor I was staring at from those steps over there. This is where the graveyard is, and this is what I was staring at. All the red vines that look climbable, and the ones above that look monkey swingable across. Oh my god, I'm sure I used this expression before, and I hated myself for it just as much as I hate myself now. But anyway, once you pick up the object over here, you will make the smoke disappear, and this is called a thistlestone. It looks really funny, like something a fan made in some object editor, you know, just very hastily. It doesn't sit quite right with me, the overly bright colors, but still, it's quite interesting. So, we have a thistlestone, but what the game doesn't tell you is that, oh dear, you need 2 thistlestones in order to finish the level. Yeah? And the reason why I wanted to do the right tower challenges first is that the final exit is located on the left side of this castle. So I find it more appropriate to do that as the final one once we have both thistlestones, okay? Okay, so this should be very recognizable. This is where we found the crowbar with a couple of harpoons. So let's just go back and yeah. This is one of the iron grates that closed behind us. That's where the shotgun shells were, and this is where we want to go. There should be a guard patrolling alive, going all crazy, not knowing what to do with his bloodlust. Please, I don't know, I'm gonna call it Patrick. Just be patient. You'll get to take a few pot shots at Lara very soon enough, which seems to be everyone's favorite pastime these days. And yeah, let's just... Since the slope is slippery, we cannot get into the left tower the ordinary way. Let's do it. Okay, almost. Those bats, seriously, they are harmless, and yet they instinctively trigger something in a player that just makes you wanna run away. And no, this is not the grate that will open. It's it's the one located by the entrance. Make sure to do a control holding here, just to avoid hitting Lara's head, and lure the guard inside the courtyard. Just not to miss any possible item he will drop, but now that I look at it, I don't think he really drops... Yeah, he doesn't drop anything. Okay, so it doesn't matter if he dies behind or in front of this grate. Anyway, we managed to kill him anyway, before it closed, and we are in a very similar courtyard to the one on the right, but this is the other one. Now, as I said, we will need 2 thistlestones in order to reach the level exit. In case you first go to this left one, and find yourself missing one and realize, oh, we haven't explored the right area yet, feel free to press this lever over here, which will open the grate at the top of the left tower. So yeah, this is actually the grate we've been at just a short while ago, so this is your reliable way back in case you find yourself stuck, yeah? But as I said, it's not all necessary. Oh, wow, what can we see from here? Ah, a little path will be on just in a while ago. Okay, good. Actually, there's something that really interests me as well. If you just take care to jump over here, we can safely reach that ledge over there, yeah? Okay, and from here we can do a fair bit of exploration. We are above a very important crate, but... Oh, wow, what's the matter? Lara? Okay, so apparently I cannot jump from here anymore. That's interesting. Because I remember I was taking a jump... Oh! Ah! Never mind that. Okay, so you can fool around if you want. I'm probably not gonna do that just not to break the immersion, but you can get into quite an up-top area of this level and see kind of where the existing level cuts off within the map and crazy things like that. It's really interesting. Oh, another one of the reasons I prefer going to the right tower first is this torch. If you come to the left area first, this torch will be unlit. It will only trigger its animation once you are in this right tower area. This is where we found the boxes and we're going on. So, yeah, if you don't go there first, the torch remains unlit, which just feels entirely wrong. And this right here is the level exit. Now these snake mouths should really look familiar. These are from the coastal village level in South Pacific, but instead of inserting serpent stones, we'll be inserting thistle stones. However, I want to avoid inserting them individually. I want to put both in place once we have them. Not only is it more satisfying, but I also remember a glitch back in Tomb Raider 1, I think it was Tomb of Tehoken, where I was inserting 2 rusty or silver keys into slots at separate times, and the door didn't open. And that left me traumatized, and since then I'm always doing these kinds of things together, since it's pretty much the same Tomb Raider engine. Okay, now these muddy steps are quite an interesting area. In case you go to this area first... Look at the statue, and it's even smoking. Well, in case you go here first, this will be your first encounter with a live statue. Yep. Okay. Ooh, close call. I don't think he actually managed to bite us. And look at the way he died. This time he rolled around on his back like the wolves did back in Tomb Raider 1. Feels so innocent now, doesn't he? Okay, and we see several slides back. Actually, this is a possible way of returning back, yeah? And I think there's one, yeah, over there as well. So once again, these are 2 chutes of returning back from pretty much the same area. But depending on whether you will find the third and final secret of the level, you will either slide from the left one, if you do find the secret, or the right one, if you don't find the secret. So just keep that in mind. Saying that, let's have another slide. And wow, a rather wide open area. Now, yeah. And to the left is where we continue to a particularly interesting place, but just please make a mental note of that crack in the wall over there. Because that's exactly where the entrance to the third and final secret of the level is, and we'll be reaching it, actually, from jumping on the tile above the family crest, yeah? So we'll make a very awkward angle jump into that crack in the wall, and that's how we'll reach the third secret. So just make a note of that. Now, okay, now there's a guard all the way up top, watching us, but before we do anything else, may I have your attention with... Oh, you see the tail over there? Okay, soon. There it is! Oh my god, there it is. That's the same Scottish flag tower we've seen from the bridge, the other side, but now there's Nessie just enjoying a fancy swim again. It's actually so cute and yet scary at the same time, you know. I wonder what must be going on through Lara's head. Is she thinking, like... Of course, due to the old graphics, it's impossible to see, but maybe to her eyes it looks authentic. It's really difficult to say. So, yeah, I mean, what is she thinking right now? Well, after the stuff she's been through, I guess, like, you know, standard weekend in British Isles, I guess. And we don't want to go there. What's down there is... Well, it doesn't really matter because the fall itself is enough to break our neck, but there is a very particularly odd liquid in there. It's a green substance reminding me of the green meteorite that all the artifacts are made of, and I think that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Some crater, probably. That's where the 5th artifact fell down. And we can ignore the crow for now. It's just being loud and annoying, but not particularly dangerous. However, be careful when cutting the corner here. You cannot even see. This is so evil. Now, please let me do the first save of the game so far. I will do it right here, because there are two things I'm just not very confident on, and this being one of them. Oh my god, Lara, you should have lost your left foot by now. But you didn't, because you're that good. Oh my god, I think the boulder got scared of your left foot. So yeah, this is very tricky. It really helps if you angle yourself first, so you can just run forward and crawl forward without spending any additional time of turning around. That helps enormously, okay? But this is super evil because you cannot really see it hidden in this shadow. That's just, so cheap. Trial and error kind of trap, you know, not really skill-based or anything like that. If they make it visible, then it'd be very obvious what's gonna happen, and then I would consider calling it a skill-based trap. But as it is now, not really. Oops. Okay, let's be very cheap now. Maybe we can finish level without using any other health packs. Okay, and he couldn't really take any pot shots at us from there. Very good. But I hear the crow, and it's really distressing me. Is it down there, or is it up? Okay, you know what? It will come when it will come, unless it's stuck horribly somewhere, but this is actually the surface of the red vine piece we monkey swinged across. Oh, okay, the crow is dead, finally. And we will use this later on to jump into the ledge over there, pick up MP5 clips, and jump into the third secret, that cracking the wall that I showed you, yeah? But the third secret is also a very elaborate way of coming back to the beginning of the level. So I'm gonna do that once we get our hands on the other thistle stone, if that's okay. So first of all, a small health pack over here. And now, well, actually we don't really have to go here, right? Scared of heights. We can make an angle jump on the tile over there, but you know what, I'm gonna do it just because it looks spectacular. And also, you can see what's down there. There is yet another tower. It's the same one that had the Scottish flag. Well, the same asset used. It's not the same tower, yeah. And we can make a perfect running, grabbing jump there. We can undoubtedly also use the red vines to somehow get across, but this is much faster. And we get a trigger flock of bats, which would probably in real life push Lara off the ledge into the... Yeah, did I say it? A mud. That is not a solid surface down there, okay? That is a... You can now see kind of the floaty animation distorted a bit. That's quicksand. So you can actually even swan dive safely into it from here. The problem is it's so deep you will drown and there is no way to climb back, yeah? But still, I really urge you, if you want to have a bit of fun, to just swan dive in there. It will not break Lara's neck in any way. In this regard, it's like water, yeah? So that's... I find the music to no end for some reason. Okay, now you might be wondering, so what do we do here? That's just a slippery slope, you know? Well, we need to get up there. How do we get up there? This is very counterintuitive, but by now, you know, the red vines have been our allies all the time, so let's just make a backflip from here. Oh, there's dead crow number 1, and soon we'll see dead crow number 2. Right over there. Good, didn't even manage to push us, I'm very happy about that. The pistols were just enough. So it's hiding here with its secret, the MP5 clips, and that's not all. There is a small health pack over there. I think I'm gonna try from as low as possible. Don't want Lara to hit her head on the ceiling. Okay. Oh, okay. Didn't even have to grab, I think. Good. So that's about it. Now, what you can actually do, and this can be a source of quite a confusion. Okay, wasn't sure about that. You can actually jump over there, which seems like the way to continue, but remember I warned you about 2 slides on that muddy path with the dog statue. This is one of them, so this will lead us back to the muddy steps. Now we don't even have the thistle stone. The question is, how do we get it? The red wine over there does not allow us to climb up. Well, like this. Once again, very counterintuitive, but I like it. This is actually a point where I was a bit stuck when I was doing my own playthrough of the level, but took me a while, but I managed to just look up and was like, wait a second. And I figured it out, you know, that kind of rewarding, warm, fuzzy feeling Tomb Raider gives you. So there it is, the only object of interest here, the thistle stone. Once again, as soon as you pick it up, the smoke will disappear, but... Oh, there's the Guardian. You probably stole it into its crow's nest. That's what's going on, I think. That's why they're in all these odd places. So now, we have 2 thistle stones, yeah? So, now you can, if you're not interested in the secrets, go take that green chute back to the gate with the serpent heads and finish the level. Or we can make our lives a bit more complicated for ourselves. Now, I wonder if this is safe. If I'm not sure, that probably means... Oh yeah, okay, looks very good. Awesome. So let's go down a bit, and I showed you a platform earlier, haven't I? There it is. Okay, great. There's the platform with MP5 clips, and I was actually... Well, I am considering whether I should save here or not, but we made a save quite recently next to the boulder, yeah, so... This is where we need to jump, so we cannot jump to the left or too much to the right, or too much up, because Lara will hit her head. So I think I'm gonna hold the control key, but... Just aligning her correctly, it... Oh, I'm so scared right now. Okay, just breathe. And the camera angle will not really tell you much, but let's see. Oh my god, yes! Oh, I'm so happy about that. I wish I could give you more advice than just please replicate what I just did, but yeah. Make sure when you start sliding, your tomb raiding instinct kicks in and you probably want to jump as soon as possible. Don't. Just let Lara drop onto this tower over here. This tower makes it perfectly safe to land without taking any damage. It's just such a super sweet tower. Now, your reward is not just large health pack. By the way, if you notice, there was no secret chime, because this is not technically the secret yet, just the entrance to the secret, yeah? But... Now, it's easy to just continue into the cave over here, but what I want to do is I want to jump over that muddy tile over there without really dropping into it, because that will trigger something quite amazing. I think this should do the trick, yeah. Yes! Oh my god! So, can you believe what I'm seeing? That's Nessie over there, just being playful, mean thingy. I don't even have to call her a snake or something, or even her for that matter. Oh dear god. So, the idea was that should you end up in this mud, whether dropping from the top or just making an accident over here, Nessie would trigger and kind of mock you. Ha! You dumb idiot, now I have to do it all over again. But if you just pass over this tile whilst jumping, so the verticality doesn't really matter, you can trigger it anyway, yeah? So there is a way to trigger it and walk away a healthy woman. So that's great. Oh, okay, this makes me happy. And well, let's delve into the game. What's quite interesting is this is just a shallow water, but they use the mud solid texture for it. Oh no, not solid, animated as well, okay. But it behaves just like water, so I find it really interesting, not like a quicksand. It's the only instance I can recall in the entire Tomb Raider 3 and these expansion levels. Anyway, so further into the cave we go. Now, if you notice, the secret chime has triggered. 3 out of, well, in fact, 3 secrets. There is just a box of flares to be picked up in this pool over here. Ah, there it is, awesome. And now let's just go a bit further on. Oh god, no. Okay. Can you imagine how scared I was the first time I played this? Not just the fact that it's there, but that Nathan McCree's danger music, it's... just like all the smoke so far, this one is absolutely harmless. Now, interestingly enough, I somehow seem to remember this poisoning me, but that's not the case. This is the kind of smoke that was on the box of shotgun shells or the thistles, yeah? Or one of the dog statues. So, it's really just there to scare the living hell out of you. And you can just pass through it safely, yeah? It's actually really cute now that I think about it, but the first time I saw it, it was, oh, so very scary. Now here is a cave with, oh, the huge length of its body, you know, everywhere. And you might be thinking, okay, well, its behavior hasn't been exactly natural, yeah, and that's for a very simple reason. Let's look what makes Nessie tick, okay? And a couple of wires and computers, in fact. So that's the secret of the Loch Ness monster revealed. There's a guy in the control room, probably having the time of his life. Just imagine him, you know, being a young boy and his mother asking him, "So, Billy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" "Oh, I want to be a guy who's gonna control the Loch Ness monster." Okay, so here we even see the schematics for the... It looks so adorable. Okay, and to think that Willard actually went through the trouble of getting it up and running just to keep I guess, tourists away from his castle, yet ironically the myth is what keeps bringing tourists like me to Loch Ness, you know, so I find it very strange. And yeah, you can press a switch to get out. Actually, interestingly enough, I don't think there are any buttons in all these levels, only switches. Yeah, I'll keep thinking about that if I'm mistaken or not. I would expect them to put an electrical button, not a wooden handle over here, but there you have it. They had to make some budget compromises, I imagine. And I guess these are its eyes and it's staring at rocks. Or maybe it's not its eyes, this is inside its belly, so... It's, yeah, let's not overthinking. Basically, the monster of Loch Ness is an artificial social construct made by Willard. Well, actually, it might still be real within this Tomb Raider universe, and this could just be on top of it, a copy of it made to scare people away, I would imagine. Maybe Willard doesn't even know that it's real. Imagine the mechanical one and the real one fighting it off. Oh my god. I'm getting into my Godzilla mindset. Okay, be very careful here, because that step triggers the appearance of a particularly annoying and bloodthirsty dog. Shotgun would be the perfect weapon of choice here. I really fondly remember shotgun dog hunting from Old Witch back in Tomb Raider 3 a year ago. But yeah, that is unless you are trying to keep using the pistols in this level only, like I am. And actually, I haven't talked about this. We got our first pair of grenades in this level. Once again, just like in Tomb Raider 3, it shows one as one pair, yet in clips it shows two. There's just no consistency. With rocket, I agree, it is one rocket, but this is two grenades. I really don't like how misleading it is. I think it should always show just the ammunition count and be as obvious and user-friendly as possible. I actually think they learned their lesson in Tomb Raider 4, I think it's better, but please don't hold me onto that, my memory might be faltering a bit. Anyway, we are climbing up a particular way, and as I said before, there are two chutes, sliding ones that should lead back. This is one of them. You maybe even remember these textures from the other side. This will take us to the muddy steps. Yep, exactly. Whoa. Well, that was just odd, but okay, fine, no harm done. Whereas the one over here is the one we could have used from the top of the tower and avoid discovering the secret of the Loch Ness monster entirely. Okay, and there is literally just one thing that remains to be done, so this is why it's good to do this left tower part as the second one, because it just leads directly to the gate. Super convenient. So let's put both thistle stones into their appropriate slots. I'm not sure if they will rotate, just like the serpent stones. You'll get a camera angle from each side. Yes, they rotate! Oh, that's such a lovely detail. I like it so much. I'm amazed that their mouth can actually hold all that in. I mean, just look at it. It's open so wide it can hold the entire flower there. That's... I don't know why I'm impressed by that. Anyway. And over here is the very last item of the level. And a little Tomb Raider 3 theme to accompany us, so... There we go. 46 flares in the very first level. I don't... Once again, just like in Tomb Raider 3, there's no way we'll use that many flares, since 8 come with each box. Now, what I talked about at the beginning of the level was that the secrets count is based on the Tomb Raider 3 levels. So the very first one is Retrieve from Jungle, and it thinks there are 6 secrets here, and that is entirely incorrect. So the workaround I'm going to use, instead of making save files at the beginning of each level, I'm going to make a save file at the end of each level, so I can carry on continuing with the unpatched version, then making a save, for example, and continuing on with the patched version. So I will save here, Highland Fling, our second save, and I will see you guys in just a short while in the unpatched version of the Lost Artifact expansion. It will be quite an interesting comparison. Okay, so here I am in the unpatched version of the game. Just, I think a good example of just how, it doesn't really sit right with me now after being spoiled by the patched one. And just look at the stopwatch. It's like a flat tire, it's not like a round circle anymore, yeah? But the interesting thing now here, as you can see, is that the total secrets count is fixed. It indeed shows 3 secrets only, so... Let's just get that confirmed by the game. There we are. Oh, thank goodness, managed to finish in under an hour. Super happy about that. Okay, so, it took us, yeah, just underneath an hour. We have found all 3 secrets, killed all 24 enemies, according to my notes found all 46 items, and we had to unfortunately use 1 large health pack. I mean, if I'd be more skilled, I'm sure I could avoid using any and just finish the rest of the level with the little health I've been given, but yeah, you know, that's not exactly why I'm here doing this. And of course, I will not upload any video without making sure that I have indeed found every single item in each level, okay? That's just my own quality assurance that I do. I rewatch everything before uploading it, because the game just lazily doesn't keep a track of the number of items we have found. So, thank you so much for being with me the very first level, and let me just say you have a lot to look forward to in the second Scottish level. It's great to be back, and I'll see you guys in a short while.